I know myself that I've tried various things in the past. I've tried various different meditation techniques, but I've always been the one to want to experiment myself, take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, and try to create what works for me. But I have to say, in retrospect, when I look at life generally, I'm not sure where it's taken me. Yes, in the moment, I get a bit of a respite, I would say, a little bit of calmness, a bit of peace. But was it developing into something bigger, greater than what I was just doing in the moment? And I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. And the reason why I'm not sure anymore is because something's very much changed in my life now. 3 years ago, I decided to become a monk here within ISKCON Vrindavan. And becoming a monk, my life started to have a different path. A path with a little bit of structure. You see, I've always been the person who's never wanted to believe in one God, one religion, one faith, one belief, one guru. I just grabbed a bit of this and grabbed a bit of that and tried to create my own philosophy in life. So I've not had any structure as to what I should be doing in order to try to actually maybe to go a little bit more deeper and understand a bit more about my life. And that's the biggest problem that we have, generally speaking, is we try a little bit of something ourselves, a bit of DIY realization. But that DIY realization actually, although, as I say to you, it gave me some benefit, it didn't actually transform my life. 3 years ago I came to this ashram and I've started to see something very, 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 very different happening. Today I'm reading the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. I'm reading the first canto, chapter 6, verse 15. And Nārada Muni is talking about taking guidance. When you take guidance from someone who is pure, such as our teachers, our acharyas, our sannyasis, and our very, very senior devotees, then you have their benefit of their experience, the knowledge, the intellect that the Lord shares with them, because they've got to a certain stage in their life where more has been revealed. And this is really important, because whatever I do, or whatever I think I should do, is based on my intelligence. But my intelligence is not fully developed. It's only partially developed. It's only to my capacity that the Lord arranged at this moment in time. And what I've realized and what I've experienced is, the more I have taken guidance, the more I have listened, rather than just doing what I want to do, my way, my thing, me, I. And the more I have taken some guidance, the more I realise there's some major shifts on just taking place. It's very transcendental. It's very, 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 very beautiful, but it's still very early stages. You see, I've got so much contamination inside me from my past lives, and earlier on in this life as well, before I become a devotee. So I've got a long way to go. So my level of intelligence is still very, very limited. The knowledge I have is still very limited. But even so, the transformation is visible. And this is really, really important. Even though it's small in comparison to the bigger picture and the fuller potential, it still stands out. And that's significant. And it's very, very, very significant. Because what the Lord is trying to explain to us is this. In life, you can do things in any way you want to. You see, He gives us free will, and it's beautiful. And I chose that free will to make certain decisions of what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. But now, it's not about me anymore. It's not about what I want to do, what I need to do, or what I'm told to do. It's more about, the more I have taken guidance, the more I have read, the more I have chanted. And when I talk about reading, I'm talking about the Bhagavad Gita as it is, translated by Śrīmad, and similarly the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam as translated by Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The more I read, the more I listen, all of a sudden there's shifts taking place. Because as with everything in life, when things are very, very dirty, which is what I'm like inside, I'm very dirty inside. I might wash and shower and put lovely clean clothes on every day, but ultimately I'm dirty, I'm contaminated. But the more you add some pure water to contaminated rime inside me, the more clearer it becomes, and the more transparent it slowly becomes, and all of a sudden you start to see through it. Well, this is the same thing that I've experienced with chanting and reading, and it means that by going through this process, and specifically about listening to what other purer souls, experienced souls, because they're all representatives of the Lord. You see, everything in life is arranged by the Lord, and therefore the moment someone else gives me some guidance, some advice, it's by the Lord's arrangement. They're his representatives. So when you start to see these signposts that people are there for a purpose, then we start to learn more. And then we start to meditate on life in a very significant different way. So there's two types of meditation. There's meditation where we go out on a whim and try to do something ourselves, hoping for the best. Or we go and do a technique where we have centuries and centuries of Vedic scriptures that actually teach us from the most wisest and wisest of acharyas. And when we start to listen to them and take their guidance, we have a different understanding, not about just what we read. What we read is very, very, very significant, but actually what we do beyond the reading. So, for instance, anyone can be a scholar. I'm not a scholar, okay? I've never been the academic at school. So I have to openly admit, I'm not a scholar. You ask me to remember slokas? No, I can't. I don't have that capacity at this stage by Lord's arrangements. Okay? But the Lord does allow me to do certain things. For instance, this gives me a little bit of intelligence to do this video, for instance, and share this with you and what I'm experiencing. But when it comes to meditating, there's a lot of difference between, as I was saying, being a scholar. You see, some people are absolutely amazing at reading, and they have the amazing memory to recall hundreds and hundreds of slokas and their translation. But the key factor is not what you remember, but what you can live. And this is really, 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 really important, is what do you live in regard to what you study and what you read. So every time I read a sloka, like I have done today from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter 6, verse 15, where Nārada Muni is explaining the benefits of meditating under the guidance of a spiritual master, I now can relate this to my life in the way that I've taught you about. And therefore I get a good and a better understanding, and not only that, I make that my meditation of the day, so I can have that as a focus of the day. And this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, because what I've found is the more I have read, the more I have chanted, little shifts take place, little time and little by little. What I think, what I feel, what I know, what I experience, what I do, who I speak to, everything has started to change, even just a little bit. I mean, 3 years ago, there's not a chance of me writing this video or recording this video, not a chance, or understanding what I was reading. I'll tell you this now, I read the Bhagavad Gita 3 years ago and I didn't understand a word of it, but now I get this, now I understand, another light bulb moment, this makes sense. And it's the same thing, taking what you study, making it your meditation, because it's given to you by under guidance. And it's very, very, very beautiful. And it's actually much more simple than you think. And this is what Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, our founder Acharya, says. It's so simple, you can absolutely miss it. So, the question I have for you is this. Do you go off like I have in the past to just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, try to do your best to do what you can, but not necessarily without the guidance or something that's just scientific. It's well structured, it's well trodden path. Because if you don't, and you just go out on the whim like I did, yes, you get a little reprieve here and there, but I didn't find it transformative. I didn't find it life-changing. I didn't feel that it was changing my perception in totality that it's starting to at the moment. And this is the beautiful thing that the Lord wants to share with us. And he not only just wants to share with us, he just wants to help us. Everything about the Lord is his way of giving, and giving. And although some of you might say, well, I don't know about this God, I don't know what it is, I can't see him, I can't feel him. Don't worry about that. We have acharyas who you can relate to, because they're people you can meet face to face. And they're still the Lord's representatives. And with a little bit of nudging here, nudging there, a bit of advice here, a little change here, learn about this, maybe not that, you start to realize actually there is more to life, more to the situation, more about what is going on that is very revealing, and it's very beautiful. I don't want to oversell it, and I also want to just say something very importantly to you here, is that whatever I have experienced is about me. Whatever you will experience is about you. And this is a beautiful thing about the way the Lord teaches. You see, if you go to college or university, everyone's studying the same maths, everyone studies the same syllabus. Here in Krishna consciousness, no, the Lord gives us individually our own syllabus. And he takes us through the lessons when he feels we're ready for the next lesson. Not because on month 1 you do this, and month 2 you do that, or year 1 you do this. None of that at all. Everything is so tailored that he gives us the opportunity to learn it when he feels we're ready to learn it. And if we don't learn it, guess what? We've got to do more learning until we can move on to the next lesson. So today it's all about, there is different types of meditation. I'm sure you've tried lots of different meditations. One thing about meditation often is you get bored of it after a while. You don't find it as stimulating. It doesn't catch you as much. But I've got to tell you now, when I read and meditate, when I chant and meditate, it never gets boring. All I actually do is get the more intrigue, and the intrigue want to know more and more and more, and discover more and more and more. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So, are you ready to go a little bit deeper? Are you ready to have a little bit of structure in your life? But it's not full structure, don't worry, but something just that gives you a bit of guidance and a path to follow. If so, let me know. I'll be interested in your thoughts. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.